everybody, thanks for stopping by my channel again. Today we are on day 8 and thankfully my camera hasn't died, so this is a nice relaxed look. And this morning I'm going for the Bride of Frankenstein, so it's using a lot of greens and a lot of whites and using it to kind of, you know, make that sort of monstery type complexion, but keeping it a bit glam because I imagine that Frankenstein's bride probably still wanted to look good on her wedding day. But yeah, so instead of just your normal stitches, I've used a little bit of cross stitching because, come on, she's a lady, she's going to be talented. I put a little bit of shimmery green eyeshadow on my lips as well, and the eyes are just a nice, really like greeny, smoky, sassy glam look with a bit of glitter. But yeah, this one was fun. I think it looks good. I think it gives the idea, but it's quite easy to achieve as well, so I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow we are on day 9, which is the day before the last day, and on Saturday I may even put on the full costume, so who knows what that'll be like. But I hope you have really enjoyed this look. Any questions, just pop them below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye! Hello again folks. So going in with, you guessed it, my collection Primed and Ready eye primer. This is going to be quite a pigmented look. I'm using a lot of deep colours today, so, well, I say a lot, I'm using dark and sparkly greens, so we want to make sure we've got a really good smooth base to work with. The colours are coming from the Makeup Revolution Patricia Bright palette, and you can see I'm using these 2 greens and then this row of greens as well. Going in with these 2 dark ones first, just into my crease, and this is where I am going to start carving out the shape of the eye that I want to achieve. So because this look is going to be Frankenstein's bride, we want it to be quite a spiky look, quite a harsh look almost in a way, and just really flick it out in like an over exaggerated cat eye. So I'm just taking my time and forming the crease. Yes, I know there's a little bit of blue still on the brush from my previous look last night, I do believe. But as you can see, it's a lovely sort of shimmery green, and this just catches the light really nice. And already we're setting up our Mrs. Frankenstein to be quite glamorous. And this is that green so far. As you can see, it's like a petroleum type holographic look. I'm now going in with this slightly darker green and just going over the crease that I've created. This is just adding some depth and some extra drama to the look. Plus it's also breaking up the shimmer. You don't want to have quite a light colour with this. You do want it to be darker, because that's what Mrs. Frankenstein likes. She's told me personally. So we're just adding to the overall shape of the eye, and you're bringing it out into the cat's flick. As you can see, it is quite a sharp flick, but I will be blending that later on. Now for the lid, I'm going in with this very acidic lime green, and I'm just patting it on with a flat-headed brush. I will be adding this on in steps. Again, I don't want to be risking any fallout underneath the eyes for whenever I'm applying my base, but as you can see, it is a very bright green. It actually brightens the eye up nicely. And then we're going into this colour here, which is like a deep, it's hard to describe, it's like a deep aquamarine, and we're just going to pat this along the crease. All this is really doing is just adding some more shadow and some more depth to the eye, and it means whenever you do blend the colours together, you still have that nice smoky look rather than something that's, you know, quite faint and quite effeminate. We do want to be effeminate, but as you can see, we do want a bit of sass and a bit of drama. So I'm just getting my fluffy headed brush and I'm blending the colours together and upwards in a circular motion just to give it a really nice smoky look. Next I want a little bit of highlight, so I'm going into this shimmery light blue and I'm just dusting this with my finger lightly on my brow bone underneath my eyebrows. And then I'm taking my liquid liner, which is nearly done, God love it, and we are going to be creating quite an exaggerated cat eye flick. So as usual, I'm doing my slow and small brush strokes and really following the cat eye line upwards and making it quite a snatched look. I imagine that Mrs. Frankenstein would have quite a snatched look as well, so you just want to kind of emphasize that and just take your time and it'll be looking fab. Personally, so far, would I wear this look on a daily basis? Yeah. So right now, as you can see, we're looking nice and smoky, but also we've got a little bit of pizzazz as well with the shimmery green. It's just adding a touch of glam to the overall look. So now I'm going in with my base. I'm using the white face paint from Tesco. I'm just packing it on with my beauty blender, just to give a nice even base as well. You know, Mrs. Frankenstein's not very swarthy. She has quite a pale complexion, so we just want to achieve that by also applying a wax face paint, which is also from Tesco. And once we've got our face drying, I'm just applying some mascara to my eyelashes. We want the eyelashes to be quite curly because after all it is Mrs. Frankenstein's wedding day, so she does want to be quite glamorous and look quite sexy, so we're just applying this to her top and lower lash line. And what I'm doing afterwards is I'm just taking the brush that I used earlier on with the lime green and I'm dusting this underneath my lower lash line just to kind of emphasize the shape and give me a bit of, you know, glam smokiness. And then I'm going into the dark green again and I'm just putting this on my brows to kind of make them look a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Evil? I don't think that's the right word, but you know what I mean, you get my drift. By now my base should have dried, so I'm going into this dark green, and this is basically going to be our contour. So we're steering clear from the usual bronzes and browns for this look today. We are going to be just using a mixture of greens. At the minute it looks as though I've just drawn two lines and padded some in my temple, but whenever I start to blend it together you'll see it really sort of takes the shape of a face. I'm just going in with this sort of lighter, it's like a turquoisey green, and going over the lines I've made just to add a little bit of dimension to the look. It's a little bit patchy at the moment, but whenever I blend it, it will look good. So as you can see, it is giving me a nice sort of pinched in, hollowed out face. It's looking quite glamorous, even if I do say so myself. Would I use a green contour? Definitely not, but if it's what you want to do, then knock yourself out. For our highlighter, we're using the acid green again, and we're just smiling slightly and applying this to the apples of our cheeks using a fluffy brush. As you can see, it is quite bright, so you really want to make sure you're blending it in so it doesn't just look like big bright green apples on your cheeks. But yeah, it's actually looking quite ghostly and quite monstery, especially when I'm adding on my dark blue lip here. Apologies, you couldn't really see me doing that, but this is a little NYX number and it's actually a glittery blue. So right now I'm just kind of emphasizing the shape of my mouth and bringing down where I will have had the surgery to become Mrs. Frankenstein. So we're just making a line with my liquid liner, taking it as slowly as we can just to make the shape that we want, and in a couple of moments I will be applying some little stitches like this just to my mouth, and then you'll also see them down my surgery line from my eyebrows right down to the bottom of my face, just to give that newly worked on look. And once I've done that, I'll be going over it with this red just to kind of make it look a little bit more raw, and then that should be me ready. I think I'll be looking quite glam. So at the minute, as I said, I am going over my lines with the red eyeshadow just to add to the rawness of it, and it's looking pretty good. I look like I've just come out from under the knife, so I'm just going to add a little bit of blood to make it look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more, you know, surgical, if that makes sense. But this is my look complete. I hope you've had fun, and I will see you tomorrow for day 9. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye!